All right, everybody, it's Tuesday the 13th, and it is currently 5 in the morning, and we're doing a podcast again. I just got out of work. Like always, you guys know me by now. If you guys haven't seen, I've been trying to go to the gym every day after work, which honestly, it's been so tough. But I guess the most rewarding part for me would be like, now, since I'm sure you guys can relate if you guys work nights, but if you guys work nights, it's like really hard to like keep a steady like meal plan, I guess. It's really hard to find times to eat, especially when you work at a job like I do, where breaks are very strict. But we're here, we're alive, you guys are listening to this. I appreciate you guys, and it's a special episode because for me, I'm not a really big like beer drinker, but every once in a while I do like to, every once in a while I like to enjoy myself and get myself a nice cold beer. Now, I know it's 5 in the morning, but I think with working nights, and especially like trying to go to the gym after, I think it makes you realize how enjoyable little simple things like this can be. Now, this beer is a very special kind of beer because, like I said, I'm not a really big beer drinker guy, but anything that has limon y sal, I'm Mexican. This is the limon y sal fucking beer. This is the one I love. This is the one I fuck up all the time. So cheers, everybody. It's 5 in the morning. Cheers. And here's the thing, guys. I'm no pussy ass bitch. I'm still gonna finish this, and I'm still gonna go to the gym. And that's kind of what made me like realize a lot of stuff is like with working nights and with going to the gym is like a lot of people are starting to make excuses. And if you like drinking beer, that doesn't have to stop you from going to the gym just because you drink beer. Now, who knows? Let me try to find how much alcohol this has. It's a very light beer, which is probably also why I like it. But I think it's like 3.5. But trust me, guys, I'm no pussy ass bitch when it comes to alcohol. All right, there was a time where right before clubs or right before we were gonna go to an event, some friends and I, we do pregame. And if you guys aren't pre-gaming for an event, you guys are just wasting money that you guys could have had fun in the car before you guys got to an event. I think that's what makes like an event so powerful. Sorry, guys. I think that's what makes an event so powerful is like when you hang out with your friends beforehand, you have you get a little high, or you drink a little beer. Now, for me, there was a time where when I would go to the clubs, or like when I'm not saying I'm this crazy still. I don't know if that's still in me, but there was a time where I would drink a whole bottle of wine and then still follow that down with a couple of shots. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, I don't know if I'm still built like that. It's 5 in the morning and I'm out here sipping a beer. So some part of me still has to be some kind of savage like that. And it's not a little beer. I mean, if you're listening to this, it's a fucking big ass can. But yeah, guys, I think working nights and truthfully like trying to commit to the craft of what I think my dreams are, I think that has really made me see a lot of things for what they are. Now, it seems that I enjoy spending time with my family a little more, which before maybe it seemed more of like a nuisance to do so. Now, I don't know. I enjoy laughing with my parents every now and then. I enjoy laughing with my son, with friends. I think I've enjoyed that more because I don't really see them that often. I basically just go to sleep and go to work. And It's not easy, guys. If you guys are out here struggling like me, drinking beer at 5 in the morning, just know that there are people out here like you and like I who have this crazy vision, this crazy wild vision, which is what our dreams are. And who knows what that could be for you. You know, you could want to be a doctor or whatever. Let's just light up a cigarette just to get the story time going. But what I was saying is that when you have this dream, what I noticed is that, for one, a lot of people don't really seem to agree with you on it, whether it's good or bad, whether, like, haters are bound to come. And what I realized from that is that people who hate are normally people who don't really chase out or seek anything for themselves. And I don't know what your situation is like, but like with a lot of jobs, especially like mine, where I'm working nights, a lot of people forget that they're only a manager inside their job, you know, that they're important nowhere else. And that this is where like people take over. And I think with working so many jobs, that made me realize kind of something similar is like, if I'm a manager and clearly I have like my own team of people who are, you know, working for me or working with me, why would I not want to control them if I'm being their manager, you know? And sure, like most of these people, I assume it starts off with like, hey, can you do this? Or hey, can you do that? But eventually it seems that at most jobs, like they'll just reach this point where it's more control based and it's more, I can outwork you rather than let's work together to produce something beautiful or even get the job done. Let's just go home. Sorry, everybody. It's not every day that I get to enjoy a beer, especially by myself. But yeah, a lot of people get stuck in this mentality, especially like if you have a manager who's a dickhead or a boss who's a dickhead, is like they lose sight that they only matter at their job, and the only reason they're coming after you and coming after you hard is because literally they can, is because they have the right to, because they're your manager. They can fire you or whatever. Now, with that being said, with working so many jobs, I realized that it's really up to like oneself to really evaluate and be like, I'm worth more than this. And it's not that I'm trying to demean everybody. It's just, I know, like, my dreams are bigger than working at a factory all day. My dreams are bigger than, you know, my dreams are bigger than being tired from coming to the gym. I have this crazy vision of like having this good body, and I know that that's not gonna happen. Even though I'm here smoking a cigarette and drinking beer with you, I'm still gonna go get it, because this is what I like to do, guys. I like to smoke, I like to drink. Cheers, everybody. I like to smoke, I like to drink, and it's little moments like this that I realized I find peace in. Sorry if I'm burping into the mic. This is kind of why I didn't want to do it. I was debating actually if I should bring the beer into this or not, but you know, I was talking to a friend over and he convinced me, so fuck it, we're here already. We're drinking beer, doing a podcast on fucking Thursday at 5 in the morning. Now, something fuck, the ash just flew into my car. But something that I came to realize with working so many jobs is that these people really, like the ones that commit to just making your life hell, these people really have no lives outside of it. And if you are one of these people who feel like they're just trapped inside this job that's constantly going over, every day is so repetitive. I used to be the same way. I used to be the one who was saying, you know, fuck, another day, fuck, I have to go to work. But that's because I really wasn't doing anything. That's because I was just trying to make ends meet with a job that I knew was never going to cut it. Now, I'm not saying I have like the best job. I'm not saying I'm the best at anything. I'm not even saying I'm an example of any sorts. All I'm saying is that I've been in that depressed state where you just feel like every day is just the same thing over and over and over. I've been stuck in the point where things just kind of all blend together. And when that happens, I realize that you stop appreciating people. You stop appreciating this, just even smoking a cigarette at 5 a.m. And if you guys were curious, I'd be smoking these Camel Crushes. I like the menthol in them. I don't know. I've always been a menthol kind of guy. I don't know. I used to smoke way more back when I was in this state that I was telling you guys about. Smoke cigarettes at least. I used to be really into American Spirits. I don't know if you guys have heard. Maybe it's just I don't know. I'm really new to smoke. I'm 21. I'm new to drinking. I'm new to smoking. I had to ask the guy today if it's still cool to buy beer at 4 a.m. Like, I just wanted a beer. I don't know what time they close. I don't know anything. But here's the difference. Is I wanted to treat myself and to do this podcast like this, because to me this is what happiness is, just me talking to a camera about things I've been through and things I've seen to maybe help out the next person. And for anybody that feels stuck, is like, you have to find anything, whether it be drawing, art, music, anything you would like to even just dabble in. Start dabbling in shit. What happened to dabbling? Sure, maybe you're not going to be the greatest musician, but you've always wanted to play the guitar. Or you always wanted to, be a singer, but you've never tried it out. It's like, why are you giving up on something yet devoting so many hours of your time to some company that really doesn't give a fuck about you? And it's like, I think when you get stuck in this repetitive motion of like, I have to go to work every day. I have to go to the gym. It's like, you chose to do that. You chose to start something that you knew wasn't going to be easy. A lot of people don't. A lot of people choose the easy way out. Especially here, like in Utah, you see a lot of homeless people out on the street. Especially if you're downtown. Downtown is fucking scary. Downtown, those homeless people who show no mercy. They'll fucking bite you. Now, with that being said, is like, I think when I was in said depressed phase and, feeling sorry for myself every day was feeling like a repetitive motion, I came to realize that there's a lot of people that don't have what I have. There's not a lot of people who can chill in a car and talk to a camera like I am currently, sipping beer at 5 a.m. But there's not a lot of people who can do that. There's not a lot of people who, for one, have the resources. Not a lot of people have a car. Not a lot of people have a phone. Not a lot of people have anything possible to even like try to realize a dream, and people still go out and try. And the shitty part about that is that doing this now and doing all this, as in trying to go to the gym, trying to do this podcast, trying to dabble in other stuff, because as fun as this podcast is and everything, I'm trying to do other stuff on the side. I'm trying to see how I can improve, how I can change, because what I've noticed now, and I'm sure you guys have noticed this, if you go back in my old videos, like, there's really like nothing to be said when I was talking to myself. Like, it was kind of just back and forth, and now I feel like there's a better narrative, there's a better kind of story to go along with my fucking podcast, maybe like some kind of theme or whatever it might be. I just think there's improvements that I've seen that nobody even fucking notices, and to me, those are like winnings. That's like somebody handing me a trophy, and it's just because we stay stuck in like this thought of like, fuck, they're doing better than me, or fuck, what if I fail? That question comes up. What if I fail? It's like, sure, you might, But is that worth missing out on your dream? Is that worth taking a step back and realizing that in a couple years you're probably not even gonna have a chance to do any of the things that you've said you might want to do? And it's kind of interesting to see how many people at post-pandemic, after the pandemic, there was 3 years, and I still can't believe that. I have this conversation with people all the time because you guys don't understand this. It's like you guys are literally a part of history. Like, we are the next adults, and it's just crazy to me how many people just kind of settled in and went back to their old ways just because they see it comfortable. I'm gonna get a job. To me, it's like the pandemic brought a lot of awareness to me and in my life, as in like where I could improve, because at the time, this will be story time. I guess the beer got me here. But I guess at the time when I was in the pandemic, I was living with my son's mom at the time, and at that point things were just really unhealthy. Like, we were just stuck at home, and that wasn't the unhealthy part. The unhealthy part was me, and that's kind of the difficult part to say. Is like, when do you realize that shit is your fault? Whatever place you might be in, it's like, if you think about it, sure, maybe somebody fucked you over, sure, somebody did this, but ultimately, like, you met that person that fucked you over, you met that person who hurt you. And I'm not saying I'm an angel. I'm just saying that I've realized that over our lifetime, we tend to hurt so many people that we don't even know. Like, we don't even know the extent of the damage. Like, I still don't know how many people don't even like me because it's just me. And the thing that I came to realize about all that is, like, during the pandemic and during this time where things weren't so easy, is like, they're not easy for a reason. And what I mean by that is, the reason they're not easy is because there's something we lack. And this isn't to blame anybody. This isn't to blame you. This isn't to blame me. This isn't... Sometimes we just aren't ready for whatever life is going to hand at us. Sometimes we are so caught up in, like, what we should be doing next that we stop focusing on what we should be doing right now. And that's kind of what I'm wanting to tell you, is that I'm here trying to do a podcast at 5 a.m. I have some kind of idea to start a live video tomorrow. I know that last episode, I've said it was episode 29, but this one will be episode 29. I believe it's 29. But I just kind of want to make the live videos their own thing and see where that goes. And guys, I don't know. It's been really tough trying to work full-time job, do overtime as much as possible, and come to the gym and try to work on this, like, and still have to manage whatever bullshit is going on in my life. And that's what I've noticed, is that as much as I want to be alone, and as much as, like, I just want to focus on the gym, it's not like that. I notice that with all this work I'm putting in, people see me almost as, at least in my circle, I don't know about, like, anybody else that, like, doesn't know me, or you could be listening to this for the first time and nobody knows, But for me, it's like, with putting in all this effort and putting in all these extra hours, I realize that a lot of people kind of see you as their beacon of light, see you as their escape, see you as their brightness in their day, and it's no big effort other than a smile or a "how are you doing?" On my job the other day, I saw some dude. I talked to him here and there, but I saw some dude, and now he's not the most talkative guy. I mean, maybe with the ladies he is, because he's always talking to some girl, but he's never been talkative to me. But I still say what's up to him every now and then. And not today, but that day, I just noticed that he was just looking a little down. And now Louis, from pre-pandemic, high school, junior high, like, I would have never said shit to anybody. I was so shy. I was so awkward. I would have never even thought of doing this. But I was just so shy and so awkward and stuck in my own little world that maybe if I saw a friend like that, I was never going to be like, hey, man, you good? But I just saw him down and I just said, hey, what's up? Like normal, you know. But like I said, normal me wouldn't have done this. Normal me doesn't want to do this. I'm still a shy, introverted motherfucker. But the thing is, I realized that although I'm an introverted motherfucker, the reason that nobody talks to me and the reason that I'm not social and the reason I have no friends is because I'm an introverted motherfucker. And what does an introverted motherfucker do? They just don't talk, sit in a corner, mind their own business. They show up to a party, they just chill on the side while everybody dances, everybody has fun. And we all know this person. We all seen them. I mean, you go to a club or you go to a bar and everybody's just standing around the fucking side not wanting to be a part of it because they're introverted motherfuckers. But what these introverted motherfuckers don't realize is that we have the power to change all that. So now with that guy, the one that I saw all down and beat, I said, what's up? And he goes, hey, what's up, man? But he just said it in like an off way because I told you he looked down, and I was just like, hey, you good? And he goes, nah, man, my dad died. And sorry, not my dad died. That was too tragic. I don't know why. Sorry, that was a weird. But the guy said, sorry. The guy said, yeah, just my dad is really sick. Sorry. The guy's dad wasn't dead. This beer is fucking me up. Apparently I'm not that wine drinker, that whole bottle wine drinker anymore. I'm almost done with it, by the way. But so anyways, he goes, yeah, my dad is really sick. Something that I would have known, nobody would ever have known if I wouldn't have said, hey, are you good? And this isn't only just to one person. I try to do this to everybody because, like I said, a simple "how's your day" changes everybody's mood. A simple smile can change anybody's day. And I just don't think we realize the strength that it takes to be this kind of person. That if you're an introverted motherfucker, it's really hard to come out of your shell. And for me, it wasn't until something tragic happened, which was my son's mom leaving, that I realized I'm capable of more than anybody ever thought. I'm capable of being a person that is unrecognizable from when you met me. And I'm not saying that, like, I'm not saying any of this to try to be cocky or anything. I just realized what I'm built to do. I realized that I was just in a state of mind where things were beating me down so tragically, yet I was beating down on myself as well. Yeah, I was calling myself a fat, dumb, whatever you want to call it. I was just hurting myself because the situation was hurting me. And now, when a situation hurts me, or I have to say goodbye to a person, or somebody just fired me, or whatever it might be, now I don't see that as, fuck, the universe wants to kill me, or the universe wants to fuck me over. It's like, maybe you needed a change of job. Maybe that wasn't it for you. I mean, they fired you for a reason. Either you liked it and you sucked at doing whatever job you did, or the other way around, the job sucked and you didn't like it, even if you were the best worker. Sometimes we can put in the best effort. And this is another thing I realized. A lot of people think that in putting so much effort into something, it's going to pay out. Sometimes the payout isn't even the money. Sometimes the payout isn't even the people you'll meet. Sometimes the payout isn't even success. Sometimes the payout is failure in trying. Sometimes doing shit like this, like me talking to you, this is uncomfortable as fuck for me. There's people driving by and I'm telling you about my life story while I'm drinking beer at 5 a.m. But I realized that in trying to do what you believe is right and what you know to be right, and really putting your foot down and saying never again, you know, never again will I stoop so low to where shit affects me. It's like when my son's mom left and things weren't so good. I don't know, guys. I didn't know what to do. I was lost, you know. I had a son, but shit, like it hurts. It sucks when somebody leaves that you thought things were gonna be different. And not too long ago, I had to say goodbye to somebody who I was, you know, friends with. And I won't say any names or anybody. I don't know. But it wasn't the goodbye that I wanted it to be, or it wasn't. Right now, if it were up to me, I would message this person and be like, hey, look, this is why I did what I did. But it wasn't an easy goodbye. But the reason that I had to say goodbye to this person that I wanted to be with so much, and that I wanted to see myself grow with a lot, is that so much stuff came with being with this person. So much anguish, so much like anxiety. I'll just be a little front about it. But so I was like I said, I was chilling with this person, and we were having a good time. But the ex of this person was the one that was getting in between, and he wasn't the type to just, you know, beat up. Even if I beat up, I'm sure he would have still kept coming. So there was no point. Like I'm not a fighter. For me, it's like, I've always said that I'm not a fighter, but the moment that somebody does try, I'm taking something. I'm taking an ear, I'm taking a nose, I don't know, something. Because I'm not going down. If I go down, you're coming down with me. And if you're not coming down with me, you're going to be sent to the hospital without a fucking missing ear. And like I said, guys, I had to say goodbye to this person. And as much as it pains me to do so, it's like everything that was attached to this person, I just can't have it in my life. I can't have made all these steps forward to take even just one step backwards. I think I've realized that in myself. I'm much more capable of doing, like I said, anything that anybody has ever thought. Like, a lot of people have doubted me. You know, a lot of people have talked shit. And there isn't a time where I'm like, fuck, I don't even want to do this podcast anymore. I don't even want to go to the gym anymore. Maybe I should just fucking lay back and chill. But it's like, who is that really benefiting, if anybody at all? It's really just benefiting the fucking haters that want to see you down. It's benefiting the people who have said you'll never lose weight. You'll never do anything that you ever thought. That's fuel. That's fuel for anybody who's ever doubted you. And that's what I came to realize, is that there's so much negativity around us, but if you can just be like this full source of light and positive in everybody's life, they'll come to help you. There's things I've realized that people do for me that I never realized before. You know, even just having somebody to talk to, that to me is more valuable than anything. I've sat down in this car, everywhere else, like I like to just sit down and talk, and this is coming from an introverted motherfucker. When I was younger, I hated like the idea of even just trying to meet somebody. It's like I felt like they were all supposed to come to me. Almost, in a way. I don't know if I felt like that exactly, but looking back at it, is like maybe that's all I was waiting for, somebody to come up to me and say, you know what, let's try this. But no, I realized that if there's something in your mind that's bugging you over and over that you believe to be true, and you believe that with all force and all confidence in this world that all this is gonna happen for you, honestly, it makes me sad to see how many people get that vision in their head. Because anybody that I've talked to in their job, whenever I meet somebody new at a job, I ask, how long have you been here and do you like it? Not because I want to know. I already know their answer. But it's because I want to see what's more in them. Like I said about this guy whose dad is sick. I told him after we had our conversation and after he told me what was up, I told him, this is what people don't know. Like, this is what people don't even give a fuck about. To them, you're just coming to work. But to me, it's much deeper than that. I know you've had to come here and give it your all sometimes. I know that even just coming into work is giving you your 100 sometimes. Because I've been there. I've been in that point where I'm like, fuck, man. Another day, another dollar. And it just drags. And it just drags in this way where you feel like you're not getting out of it. But the only thing that's ever gonna work to get out of it is you. And like I said, we're the new adults. We're the people who are supposed to be showing this example for little people. And I'm glad that I had my kid at so early. A lot of people back then, I remember, like, let's say when I was 18, 19, when I would be at a job and I would tell them, they'd be like, what do you do? I'm like, I don't know, I'm just trying to be a dad. They'll be like, what the fuck? You're 17, 18, you should be studying. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, fuck you, you should have been too. We're stuck at the same job, motherfucker. I just started, you've been here for years. Thank you guys for sharing a beer with me. I just finished it. But like I've said, it's not really about the situation that you're in. It's like there has to be something where you realize the pain, the hours you put into your job, the work it's gonna cost. None of that matters because you enjoy doing what you enjoy doing. Whether, like I said, whether that be drawing, art, porn, whatever it could be, whatever you fucking believe to be true in your head, it's there for a reason. I support anybody who's out there trying because not a lot of people do. And whenever I meet somebody out there like me who's trying to start up something, I'm like, man, congrats. As little as your startup may be, as little as your fucking band may be, I applaud anybody who's even trying this shit. Because, like I've said, a lot of people post-pandemic just went back. And to me, it's like, if you went through this part of history that's going to be told for years and years, you know, the year 2020 was the year that everybody got COVID and everybody was dying everywhere. If you don't come out of that a different person, that just kind of shows either how little your dreams are or how ineffective the things that you've been doing have been turning out. And ineffectiveness sometimes is a good thing because you realize what doesn't work. And like I said, failure is part of it. Failure is not even, it shouldn't even be considered a failure. That's another thing I realized. And I realized that when I looked back and or when I do look back and see like all my life and see everywhere I've went wrong, I'm like, damn, but now I'm like this. Or like, damn, but now I think different. It's like we grow and we grow in ways that we don't even notice. Everybody fucking else notices. And because they notice, because they see you trying to do something that they've never done before, they haven't even attempted because they're stuck in this job, living clockwork. It's hard. It's hard to look at somebody who's actually trying. And if you're out there, like I've said before, if you're out there and you're trying, this isn't a sign for you to quit trying. This is a sign for you to double down. You already know what failure is like. Wherever you are, and if you're unhappy, this is what failure is. Could it get much worse than this? Like you think that if you work less just to spend the day outside more, that's gonna change? Or you think that maybe tomorrow I'll just start it, or maybe tomorrow I'll just I'll put it off. It's like you already did that. You've already done that so many times in your life, and it's like you're gonna prove everybody who's ever talk down on you're proving them right. And not only are you proving them right, you're proving yourself wrong. You're proving to yourself that whatever you set out to you can't do. Whatever your mind believes to be true and whatever dream you may have, it ain't possible for you. That's what you're realizing. Because the moment you realize, this is too hard, or the moment you say to yourself, maybe tomorrow, it's like, sure, maybe tomorrow. But maybe tomorrow the opportunities won't be gone. And maybe tomorrow the guy you needed to talk to isn't here, or the person you wanted to see isn't there. Like, it's really true what they say, that there's no time like the present. And this is something, I'm not just talking it out of my ass here, is like, when people now come up to me and they've been a part of my life for a while, maybe they're like, the fade is running out or something, and I feel like messaging them, no fucking ego gets stuck in it, because I'm not messaging them from a place of I want something from you. Is like, I want to show you that I'm out here and I actually care to even just have a conversation with you, because not a lot of people do nowadays. Hold on, sorry, yo. I'm trying to find my lighter, light this ciggy. So, at one of my old jobs, and this is kind of like, the person who got me on cigarettes. So, here's the thing. When I used to be a kid, my mom and dad, they used to smoke all the time. They used to go outside on the porch and share a cigarette together. And I don't know what it was about that, but to me, it was just so beautiful. It was just like, damn, my parents are actually like into each other out there just smoking a cigarette. I didn't give a fuck about the cigarette. I didn't see that as bad. I just thought it was like, oh, they're doing something that they like. Which has become a habit now. Which, who knows, maybe they started it. Blame my parents. But no, guys, that's not what I'm saying at all. It's like, as a kid seeing that was just magical. Who the fuck knows what fucking troubles my parents were going through. This is another thing I came to realize too, is like, working so many hours and not seeing the people that you enjoy being around is like, now I have deeper conversations with my mom, and maybe now it's because I'm getting older too. She no longer has to raise a boy anymore, you know. Now it's kind of like raising what is soon to be a man, what is soon to be the future. I think we lose sight of it, that one day our parents just won't be here anymore, and that we're gonna have to step up to the plate and really bring all that they taught us to whatever life brings. And I think seeing that so early, of my parents sharing a cigarette, I think that the reason they were smoking in the first place is because life was tough back then. I remember we were living in a small ass apartment, which, like I said, these are trophies, because not a lot of people get to live in an apartment like we did. Ours was a small apartment. It had 2 bedrooms, which was nice. Me and my older brother would share a room. And to me, I was living in heaven at the time. I did not see any struggle with my parents. But having these conversations now with my mom, she brings up of like, damn, we were so broke back then. And this is shit I didn't even know. Like, this is shit that didn't even come to my mind as a kid. And to me, that's golden, because with meeting so many people, I've realized how many shitty parents and how many shit lives a lot of people have lived that we won't ever get to experience. There's somebody out there in the world right now who just lost a kid. There's somebody out there in the world right now who just lost a parent, who lost a best friend, who even just broke up after years, divorced. And you're here listening to me. So I think now it is really time to reflect on the person that you've been and see just where you can make slight improvements. I'm not talking about changing the world. That doesn't happen overnight. But I'm talking about like true change within yourself. Like maybe if you wanted to go to school but you can't afford it, like why not try to study whatever you want to study? That way when you get there you're prepared, and not a lot of people are willing to do this. Why? Because they think that school is the standard. They think that once I get to school I'm going to work hard. But if you're not working hard at what you're doing now, it's like, when are you ever going to work hard? And this is what I'm realizing now is like, if I can put in all these hours at work and if I can still find time to go to the gym, what else? What else is part of it? You know, filming a podcast, trying to do my own stuff. Like, what else? What else am I more capable of that nobody ever thought? When I first started this podcast, I never thought that I would be on episode 29, fucking talking to myself in my car. Maybe if some magical person from the future came down, or if me from the future came down and said, hey, by episode 29, you're going to be in a car with a broken ass windshield and just filming a podcast with a beer at 5 a.m. It's like, maybe back then I wouldn't have wanted it because I felt like I was greater than this. And you're not. There's step by step, things have a process, and if you don't enjoy the process, then what are you gonna enjoy? The end? Are you serious? You're gonna ignore all the hard stuff and just skip to the end? There's people who do. There's people who are born with fucking golden fucking baby cradles. And not too long ago, I met this rich person, and when I say rich, I mean rich, like yacht. He actually invited me to a fucking he invited me to a yacht party. But then he was like $300 entrance, and I was like, man, fuck you and your $300 entrance. But when I was talking to him, he just saw things in a different way. You would tell him like, shit, your food must be expensive, or this drinks are expensive. He's like, how much is that? That ain't nothing. And this wasn't like, he told me about his life. He was this Asian guy. He he looked so funny. He was like, I like to call him a 1/3 Asian, because he was literally like, he was just such a character. So he was 1/3 legs, 1/3 torso, and 1/3 head. And now a lot of you may be thinking like, damn, that's a long ass head. But no, this fucking dude was short as shit. And he was talking to me about all his businesses and everything that he was doing. I'm like, man, fuck you and your businesses. But that's just my ego talking. When I look back at it now, I'm like, shit, man, I could be doing more. Like, this simple stuff is nothing. He was telling me about how he's opened up so many businesses and owns so many warehouses, and how he had to like leverage a credit card to get to where he's at, and invested in so many things. And it's like, he told me that it took him 3 years. And to him, that seemed like a long time. Because when me and my friend were talking to him, he's like, 3 years? That's a long time, man. And true. 3 years is a fucking long time. In 3 years, my son will be 6. He's 3 right now. And to me, I realized my son is going to be 6 in 3 years. That's already talking, walking, going to school on his own, probably walking to school on his own, having his own little friends, having his own little clique. That's him. I can't force myself. I can't force my kid to do something that they don't want to do. I can't force him to join a certain group. I can't do anything, because as parents, I feel like we want to live so much through our kid, which is good, you know. You want to have like high expectations for your kid, but also, how do you expect kids to have high expectations of yourself if you didn't? If you don't hold yourself to the highest standard, how come, like, why do you expect your kids to? There was a point where, sorry guys. There was a point where I used to work at a school, and so many kids would tell me that their parents would just come home and sleep. And I get it. Right now, that's all I want to do. Right now, all I want to do is hit the hay, watch a little Netflix, and doze the fuck off and not worry about it till tomorrow. That's what I want to do, personally. But there's so much shit I have to do, not just for me, but for other people. Like, so many people rely on me to take them places. So many people rely on me to just be there. And if I can do this, if I can work as many hours as I do, and I can still find time to go to the gym, and I can still find time to do this podcast, and I can still find time to do whatever the fuck my crazy brain desires, there's really no limit. The limit we set to ourselves, I think, comes a lot from our parents. And as tough as it is to say, it's like, my parents were tough. My parents are fucking fighters. My parents will fight it out. My parents will, go to the ends of the earth for me. And that's a lot of things those are things that many people can't say, or will never even be able to even think about. And when I think about it like that, it makes everything so much more valuable, because people literally rely on you. If, let's just say, if you were in like a position that I was in a while ago, and you think this is it, this is all I want, like, this is over, I'm done. I'm done with even trying. It's like, you never figured out your true potential, or you will never figure out your true potential. Many people will never get to see that. And not only that, you're bringing so much pain and introducing so many things. And here's where people fuck this up, I realize so much, is that kind of back to what I was saying about how there's no time like the present. So many people could reach out to you. So many people could reach out and ask you how you're doing. So many people could reach out and literally just be a friend for you. And what I realize is that when you're going through it and you're trying to realize a dream and you're trying to start something, nobody that you know, nobody wants to see you there. And nobody wants to feel like they're not doing nothing. And maybe this is the scary part for you, is like, if I start this dream, so many people are going to talk shit. And so many people are already talking shit. People are already talking shit about you because you haven't done what you said you were going to do. And I don't know. To me, it seems much more valuable to find these people who I know. I see it in them, because I feel like when back in high school, one time I did shrooms, and I feel like ever since that day I've been able to identify and just see people's energy in like such a weird way. There's people I see and I'm just like, yeah, you're trouble. But there's people who I see now and I'm like, you're trouble, but you're only trouble because you're misguided. You're only trouble because nobody's shown you the right way. And I'm not saying I'm the fucking person to show you what the right way is, but I am definitely gonna be the person who says, hey man, you feeling down? Fuck it, let's go harder. I will always try to be the person who pushes other people to commit to start their goals, because that's what I'm doing. So if somebody comes up to me and says I want to do something and I shut them down, what do I expect from people who are shutting me down, you know? Obviously it was coming. I've never been the type of person to help anybody, so why would anybody help me? And it's like, we can't we have to realize that people are just much more than numbers. People are just much more than a nuisance. People are much more than just your neighbors. I see this in my neighbors. There's a lady who had a kid, and she recently moved, and when they first came, their baby was little. Their kid was little. And not too long ago, I saw him again. I haven't seen him in a while because I've been fucking working. But their kid is fucking older now. Their kid is walking. Their kid is running. Their kid has fucking long hair. This is all stuff that flies by you if you don't notice it. I see it a lot in my kid. Like he's grown and changed in ways I never even thought of having a kid, you know? The other day he was playing on the couch, and he goes he was just playing on the couch, fucking around, minding his own business, you know, doing some monkey shit. And he fucking jumps off the couch and boom, just fucking hits the floor, eats shit, fucking splatters everywhere, and he's there fucking laying down. And so I'm like, shit, here we go. So I get up. I was at the table, and I go get up and just try to see what he was doing, you know. So I go, I was like, fuck, now I have to pick up this crying baby. And he goes, and he goes, Dad, because he talks like this. My son talks like this. He goes, Dad, I almost fell. And I was like, damn, boy. I was like, you almost died. I was like, you did fall. You just didn't feel it. I don't know. He's fucking crazy. And had I just been stuck in like, this day is living over and over, I have to go to work constantly over and over, I don't even stop to notice shit like this. To me, he just fell and said he's good at that time. But like I said, I've reached this certain appreciation for people that, I don't know. It's just been crazy to see how many people are struggling, how many people are living day to day not knowing what to do. And that's okay. I think the reason you don't know what to do is because you're not doing the right thing that you know you should be doing. It's like if something is making you unhappy and you see this crazy dream, as tough as it is, we need to start following dreams that we don't even think are possible. I don't know if you guys remember, but I started the beginning of this year not knowing what the fuck to do. I just told you guys that I was going to go to the gym every day and work my ass off. Now I'm working 55, 60 hours a week, still coming to the gym, still trying to find time to do this podcast. And it's like, it's hard. But just because it's hard, I'm not going to quit on it. Just because it's hard, I still want to push you. I still want to see you grow in the way that I feel like I'm growing. Because for me, it's just little steps. I'm not seeing like, I don't think I'm seeing crazy progress in my body. I don't think I'm seeing like bigger fucking steps in my finance. I'm not seeing any of that shit yet. But all that is coming, man. Everything that you think is out there for you, it's there. It's just sometimes we get stuck in this repetitive motion, and sometimes we just, with that, we start thinking so little of ourselves because nobody has ever taught us like how to feel any different. And if you're the kind of person who blames their parents and who feels like their parents have maybe misguided them for most of their life, it's like, if you were to sit down and ask them, these people, they're not right. They've been abused their whole lives. They've been yelled at their whole lives. They don't know how to be a parent. We have to stop blaming people for taking decisions that they thought right at the time. Sure, there's horrible parents out there. I'm not saying that anything justifies what they did to you. This isn't me blaming you for anything that you feel. This is me blaming the fact that all this happened to you and you're still gonna stay the same. You've been through all this hardship, you've been through all this torture just for you to stay here. There has to be improvements made, and I know you guys see it. I know you guys see little improvements day by day. It's just that they're not big enough for you to feel that important. Somebody saying hi to you is already a win. Somebody trying to be your friend is already a win. Somebody greeting you at the door whenever you go to the restaurant now because they recognize you, that's a win. Like, these are people you need to start connecting with because they're you. Everybody that you surround yourself with, they're a part of you, whether you like it or not. You take things from them and they take things from you. Sometimes we get it wrong and they fuck us over in unimaginable ways, but they're also dealing with shit you don't know. And we are just people. We make mistakes. I know I've made a fucking fuck ton of them. I'm not trying to justify any mistake. They're wrong. But it's like, that used to be you. You were that person. And there's this fucking great Joe Rogan video that I've seen that I will share every time. But he's basically saying that you're not your past. You've grown in ways that you don't even understand. You are not them anymore. You are not 10 years ago you. You are not 3 months ago you. You're not 5 minutes ago you. Even by just like listening to this, maybe I made you think of something that you never even thought about. And we just have to take these little things that people give us and apply it in our own life, because that's the only way to improve. If somebody tells you that they tried something that you want to try, don't look at it as like, oh yeah, nice flex, motherfucker. Maybe it is. Maybe they are trying to flex on you. There's just that fucking much of a dickhead. They're like, oh, I could have done this. Maybe you shouldn't do it because I couldn't succeed in it. It's like, fuck you, motherfucker. Now when people tell me that, is like, I take it for what it is. I'm like, yeah, maybe you're right. But in a deeper level, I start noticing the mistakes. They're like, I've tried this and it didn't work out. I'm like, all right, then I won't try that and it won't work out. So I guess with this podcast and me reflecting on, what I've said at the start of the year is like, I've grown mentally tough because I've done shit that I have not wanted to do. Like I said, every day I question this podcast. Every day I question me taking the next step into trying to become a better person. Every day I question myself. And if I'm questioning myself, what does that have to say about the person who's depressed? This is the shit we don't see. If you feel this shitty, and if you feel so sad, imagine how the person next to you is feeling, who just lost their dad, who just lost their kid, who just broke up to them. Man, they might have just broken up with the person that they thought was going to be their whole future. Imagine how that person is feeling, and if you have felt a certain way, why not try to help them? Why not even just say, oh, I've been there before. What helped for me is this. Some people don't want to listen to you. Some people are like, fuck you, man. I'm just hurt. And I don't care what you say. This shit sucks. Yeah, it does suck. But in my situation, I wish somebody would have told me, hey, man, I know this fucking sucks. This is horrible. The person you loved for so many years and the person that you have just lost, and the person you thought you were going to be, the person you thought was going to give you everything, and the person that you thought was everything is gone. What has to come out of you now has to be some kind of evolved version of that, because let's say in 2 months, 2 years, 10 years from now, that person sees you. Do you want them to see you how they left you? Do you want them to see you exactly the way they thought you were going to turn out? It's like, no, motherfucker. I am more capable of anything that you ever thought possible. Simply for the fact, not because I'm trying to be cocky, not because I'm trying to outdo you, But because I'm trying to prove to myself that somebody hurting me has nothing to do with my goals. All this is just part of it. All this hardship right now, and I've said this before, all this pain you feel right now is because you care. All those tears you shed late at night when nobody's watching is because you care. And this is what took me so long to realize, is like all this pain and depression and anger and fear and rage that I was feeling was because I'm not putting it out there to try to become the best version of myself for me. I see this clear vision of what the best version of me is. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying. If you're even gonna come close to stopping that, I'm sorry. I can't be with someone who doesn't put in the effort that I'm trying to. And I'm not saying effort into you, I'm not saying effort into a relationship, but sometimes if you're with someone, we kind of get lazy. We kind of just, I have someone, so why would I even go to work out? Why would I even? And I realized that the reason this person fell for you, or the reason you're attracting so many people, is because you have something that people want, something that people admire and find attractive. And that's when we get lazy. That's when we realize that, shit, I already have a girlfriend, so fuck it, why not? Or I already have a boyfriend, so fuck it, why not? Why not? Why don't we go eat? That'll be cute. But it's like, if you guys just slowly start pushing each other, boom, 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 things start stacking up so quickly. And guys, before I leave here, because I need to pee, but before I stop talking to you guys, it's like, this goes to anybody who's out alone in their job, trying to fucking figure out what to do. The next step is really looking deep within yourself and thinking, I'm worth more than this, so why not go get it? I see this vision in my head. It's mine. I saw this really powerful thing that said, the top of the mountain is already yours. The goal you have in your mind, that's yours already. Now, here's the difficult part. The top is yours. You don't know what the fuck is in the middle. You don't know what's waiting for you. Thunder, clouds, pain, fear. You don't know what's in the middle of this fucking big ass mountain that you have to climb to get at the top of what you call success. That's all part of it. It's all part of the process. Just because something hurts doesn't mean you stop. Just, it hurts because it's good. It hurts because something inside you is saying, hey, I don't like this. But if you can look down within your mind and say, fuck you, bitch, I'm still doing it every day, you just beat your soul. You beat the fuck out of your mind, and you told your mind, hey, bitch, I don't give a fuck what you say. Today my soul could. Today I could. Today I fucking beat you. And this isn't to be egocentrical. This isn't to talk shit on anybody. Like I said, this is just for self-improvement, is what I've seen. Nobody wants to really put their hands in the dirt and work with all that fucking mud and say, hey, this is mine. Nobody wants to do that anymore, because it sucks showing that shitty piece of mud and saying, hey, look, here, this is mine. These podcasts aren't the best. I know I'm not the best podcaster, but who is? So many people started off worse, or if not in my similar situation. So why stop halfway when you know you got this whole mountain to climb and the top is just waiting for you? And with that, guys, I think we should call it a day. It's been an hour. I've been talking to you guys, and I mean, that beer probably fucked me up. I don't know. But yeah, guys, it's been super fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I love talking to y'all, and I've been trying to, you know, get the Spotify going a little more. So it would mean the world if y'all can just follow that and check out the Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all that shit. Like, I recently did a live video. If you guys want to check it out there, it's everywhere else. But if you guys could follow the Spotify and follow everything else, that would mean a lot. And I hope you guys have the best day. Take what I've said with a grain of salt and try to apply any little knowledge that I've spat out in your own life, because honestly, I would love to see you guys in the mental state that I think I'm starting to achieve. Because, like I've said, with hardship, I don't know. I think with hardship comes peace, and not peace in your life, peace within yourself. Because no matter how hard life gets, you know you're already putting in 100%. And if not 100%, then 110. But anyways, guys, it's been nice. I hope you guys had a good time, and I hope I didn't stutter too much with the fucking beer. But cheers, everybody. This is to a healthy 2023, and I'll see you guys later.